You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Well, welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton, here, hanging with you guys in studio. I actually just got done mowing grass and cutting lawns for the day. And you know what? We had a beautiful Michigan day, a beautiful, kind of almost fall day. We got that crisp air in the morning, and you almost need a hoodie or a long sleeve. It's crazy. I know some of you guys right now, Central Texas and down south, you guys are dealing with 100-degree real feels and temperatures. God bless you guys down there. For us, we're kind of getting into those 70, 80 degree days, and you can just feel that fall is in the air, which is super exciting. Well, on this episode, I want to be short and sweet with you guys. As Paul Jameson says, that's code for 45 minutes to an hour. When your pastor says, we're going to be quick today, that's how you know you're going to miss lunch and you're going to have to reschedule for that 1 p.m. Lunch appointment with your friends. Just having fun. But no, we're going to keep it short and sweet. I want to talk about mobile marketing today. We'll talk about vehicle wraps, vehicle signage, vinyl lettering on your vehicles and trailer, what I did in the past, and just quite honestly, I think it's super effective and cost effective and good ROI for these kind of marketing efforts. In fact, it was funny, just yesterday, I was going down the road, and a couple hours later, I checked my Instagrams, and a guy texts me, he shoots me a message on Instagram DM, and he says, hey dude, just saw your vehicle going around town, just on the road, we passed right by, your vehicle was coming at me, I was able to get my phone out just in time. He goes, man, I gotta say, that is a pretty sweet rig, that is a pretty sweet trailer, and the signage, that is very, very noticeable. I'm like, thanks dude, and you know what, it wasn't as expensive to get the trailer signage as some people think. So we're gonna talk numbers and share a little bit with you guys about how some of this stuff works. And, in my opinion, get your name out around town, right? We want to grow our business. We want to get more customers. And this is something that outside of everything we talk about in the how to get new customers training program with it, talking to you guys about postcard marketing, yard sign marketing, customers with Facebook and YouTube and social media and Instagram, Google My Business listing, all these other things. One of the best forms for me has been my vehicle signage. So let's do this. Let's kick it over to Mr. Producer. We're going to hang out, talk to Marty for just a quick second as he gets the show sponsors and the show notes today. And we'll come right on back here in just a quick second.
Brian, I tried to do you a big solid this week and get a little more diversity on the show. I've got a friend that is over in Wales, across the pond over there in the UK, and I thought it might be nice to get a little female imaging here on the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It didn't turn out quite the way I had hoped. Here's what I mean.
Hello, it's me. This is the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Once again, here is Brian.
So what I thought I would do to help her see the correct pronunciation of your name is just simply send the podcast logo image that has your picture on it, hoping she would see that there's a T in there, and this is all I got back from her.
Damn, he's hot.
I'm sure your wife, Liz, agrees, so I'll do better next time, I promise.
Have you ever thought about starting your own lawn and landscaping business, but not sure where to start?
Look no further than LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com,
An e-training website dedicated to helping you start and grow a successful lawn care business. Save more time and make way more money by learning exactly what it takes to grow your business to the next level. Invest in your future by first investing in yourself. Use promo code PODCAST to save 10% on all training programs today at LawnTrepreneurAcademy.com. Now, back to the show.
Awesome, guys. We'll always appreciate Mr. Producer carrying the show for us and all the times he gets to ad-lib and share his funny jokes, just like Paul Jameson said on his podcast, the Green Industry Podcast. Paul said, Paul lives to listen to our podcast, not for all the amazing content that we put out there, right, Paul? He listens for the ad-libbing from Marty, Mr. Producer, which is always fun, and we do appreciate him putting this whole show together. So you guys know, for every hour that I'm recording, there's another hour and a half on the back end to do a podcast. Just like when you shoot a YouTube video, there's an hour or 20-minute clip. It takes 2-3x to produce it, to even be able to put it on YouTube, tag, title, send out all this content. That's where most people give up. Creating the content is pretty much the easy part. Producing it, whether it's videos or audio, that's usually the harder part. But one thing I wanted to just double down on really quick Just a little kind of housekeeping. Two things. One, the whole ball of wax bundle. The whole ball of wax bundle is our all-in everything training program. That it's a bundle. It's 20% off what you would pay for all of our programs at retail, packaged into one training program with that steep discount. And in fact, promo code podcast does save 10% on all of our training programs on launchpreneuracademy.com. And just a little FYI for some of you guys, I get it. Some of you guys have been in business for a few years. You're rocking and rolling. You don't need to learn how to install or do an aeration overseed. Some of you guys have been plowing snow for 5 years. You don't need to know how to plow snow. Although inside each training program, I guarantee you there's a couple tips that could help keep you sharp. But for some of you guys that are making a career change, or some of you guys that are just getting into the industry, maybe you're in your first or second year, consider checking out the launchpreneuracademy.com training programs and even the whole ball of wax bundle, which is $449 with that discount. And here's why. There is 7 or 8 different training programs in there right now. 2 downloadable, editable resource documents. One's our residential flyer and our commercial contract. You get access to all of that. Right now, it's like $449. Retail, it would be $600, if not more. Look, long story short, over the next 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to be dropping about 6 or 7, maybe 8 more training program and resources on Launchpreneur Academy. Okay, we're going to be hustling over the next 6 weeks to wrap a bunch of this stuff up. And as soon as I have them and they're released, they're going to be released, of course, a la carte for download and purchase, whether they're a training program or another resource. But outside of that, here's the cool thing. Anybody who is a whole ball of wax subscriber or purchase that bundle, they get lifetime free upgrades to anything we bring from the future, which is really, really cool. So when we add another $500-$600 of resources to launchpreneuracademy.com, all of those resources are going to be grandfathered in and given to you for free if you have the whole ball of wax bundle. So in fact, a lot of you guys, when I first started launchpreneuracademy.com a little over 18 months ago, purchased the whole ball of wax bundle. I think back then it was like $249. And we've already added another $300 worth of training programs to that bundle that those people have received for free. Lifetime updates, grandfathered in, anything we come out with that's new gets to be added to that training program. And in fact, we're going to double the value of that bundle here in the next 6 weeks alone. And by the way, the price is going to go up in 6 weeks. So it might be $7.99 or $9.99, whatever it is. But if you buy it for $449, you get lifetime upgrades. And that doesn't count what we're going to be doing for winter into spring. We've got a snow and ice program coming out. We've got a how to build your team training program coming out, a bunch more resources coming out in spring. Look, folks, I'm telling you what, if you've liked what you've seen already on launchpreneuracademy.com, the resources we have coming out over the next 6 weeks and over the next 6 months are literally going to change the game to help you guys grow the most successful and profitable lawn and landscape businesses ever. Is it for everybody? No, but you would be you would really be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't purchase it now, not only for the programs you get access to currently, but what's coming out over the next 6 weeks and 6 months. So, all right, that's my soapbox. That's my rant on that. Just wanted to plug that. I think it's a tremendous value. You can get that at launchpreneuracademy.com. Lifetime upgrades as long as you guys purchase it now before the price goes up in the first part of October. Secondly, just a little lay of the land. I want to say a big thank you to all of you guys as well that have been leaving all the ratings and reviews, the 5-star reviews. They make a huge difference with the podcast getting surfaced and providing that social proof. Last I saw, there was like 600 ratings and reviews, which is literally insane. There's some podcasts that are ranked higher than ours that don't even have that many ratings and reviews. So if you guys really enjoy the show, if you guys want to reciprocate, the only thing I ask is that the only thing that I require, right? The only thing we need from you guys is to share the podcast and give those all important ratings and reviews. That is the best way you guys can help me by reciprocating, right? Everything we give away on this podcast is for free. There's no cost to, consume the podcast. It takes a lot of sponsorship and time and money on the back end to put this together. But again, it goes a long way. So if you guys haven't left us a rating review, I don't know what you're waiting for. We really, really appreciate that support. And if you've already left one, I know we've been reading them off once a week with Mr. Producer Marty. We really, really appreciate you guys doing that if you've already done it. So I just want to say thank you. We're in the top 40 or 50 consistently on business entrepreneurship podcasts in the U.S. And I'll tell you what, Anybody can get up there one time. Anybody can get top 50, top 75. But if you want to be there day after day, week after week, and that consistency and bring great, fresh, relevant content, that is a true commitment. And it works both ways, man. If you guys are going to keep consuming the content, I'm going to keep doing the best I can to be as sharp as possible, giving you guys the latest and greatest. So that's my 5 or 6 minute little just kind of housekeeping stuff as we do this podcast real time, and we get you guys all the most relevant information I can get to you guys. Let's wrap that whole housekeeping stuff up really quick, and let's move into talk about mobile marketing. This is two topics that, two different ways I want to talk about this. One is the truck and the vehicle. The second one is the trailer. So let's talk about number one, low cost ways to market your business. And a lot of you guys, whether you're just getting started or you've been in business for 5 or 10 years, it's a pretty cost effective way for everybody. So back in the day, when I had my red F-150, I did have vehicle signage. Go figure. I don't know if there's a photo out there. I don't think there's ever been a photo that's made it out to the interwebs with my first vehicle signage. But back when I bought that red F-150, my first vehicle signage was 2 magnets, actually 3 magnets that I bought from my local print shop. I think I paid maybe 75 or 125 bucks for all 3. They were maybe 18 inches by 24 inches. They were white vinyl, like a magnet material. They're like a white magnetic material. The front was white. The back was black for the magnet side, obviously. And it was red block. It was red block letters that said, it might have even said Brian's Lawn Care, to be honest with you. That's how I was just getting my business going. But I think I might have had Brian's Lawn Maintenance. I can't remember. But I was big time, man. I slapped those magnets on during business hours, and I thought I was the cat's meow. I'm like Donald Trump Jr. over here with business management, right? So I had my little Brian's Lawn Maintenance vehicle magnets, and what I did is, once I got to my first property, or even my mom's house back where I kept all my equipment back in the day, I'd pick up my trailer. I'd slap those magnets on, one on each driver's door and the passenger door in the front. And then the third magnet I would put on the back of the tailgate of my red F-150. And man, it's so funny now, man. I thought I was perfect cut back in the day. I thought I was Troy Clark and Associates. I thought I was the cat's meow. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I always took pride in my business, whether it was, I didn't know I was kind of like the lowball, kind of bummy looking dude, but whatever, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was excited about my business. I was going places. And frankly, like, I don't care if anybody would have like made fun of me. It wouldn't have deflated me because I was so proud of my rig. Well, that's where you can start. I mean, as simple as it sounds, a lot of you guys have, those old, square body Jeeps. I don't know what you guys call them, but the square body, kind of bulletproof engine Jeeps. A lot of you guys have older F-150s or Chevy 1500s, and you got this green truck, this red truck, this black truck, whatever. And maybe it's got a little rust on it. Maybe it's got a little this, maybe it's got a little that. The idea is to grow the business, keep reinvesting. Of course, we all want the nicer rigs, the nicer trucks, the nicer trailers. I get it. But in the beginning, you got to do what you got to do. And sometimes you might look cool. Sometimes you might look goofy. Lord knows I looked goofy for years. I mean, years and years and years. And that's why when I bought all the stuff that I got in the last 3 years, I wanted the nicer stuff. We had the money to buy a lot of it. And I wanted to go all in. I was like, man, I'm going to build this dream setup where I look classy. I look next level. I look premium. I want to be boutique, and I wanted to invest in that next level of marketing and branding. Well, take it back 10, 12 years ago, that wasn't an option. At my pay grade and what I was making, and Lord knows what I was charging, I couldn't do that just yet. But I did have some vehicle magnets, and they were very cheap. And that's where I just proposed some of you guys start. Look, it's $75, it's $100. Almost anybody here listening, you can go get some vehicle magnets. Now, here's a little caveat I would say. Anytime you go on a road more than 50, 55 miles an hour, take them off, because I don't care how tight those magnets are or how fresh they are. Over time, they get weathered. And if you go over about 40, 50 miles an hour, I kind of like field tested it. After about 53 miles an hour, they all blow off. So I had 3 vehicle magnets, but I probably went through about 10 or 12 my first 12, 18 months with my red F-150 before I just said, screw it, and I got a signage on my utility trailer, which I'll get to in just a second. But those vehicle magnets, as simple as they were, brought in business. They said, hey, Brian's here. Now, back in the day, I was 19, 20, 21 years old, okay? It was okay for me to kind of look the part of, hey, this is a young kid who's trying to get his business going. So it's not like I looked like a dork, although I probably looked like a dork, but it was acceptable. Look, you're a 20-year-old kid just getting your business started. Some of you are 17 years old. That's what you look like. It's okay. You're not going to have the perfect cut, branded color scheme, custom painted cab on an Isuzu that's blue and yellow, okay? Like, that's a $5 or $10 commitment. Okay, we're not there yet in the beginning, but vehicle magnets can make a huge difference, and they're very, very cost effective. Here's what I would say. Find a local print shop that can make some nice custom magnets for you. Keep them simple, block letters, maybe 1 or 2 colors. Don't do a bunch of colors and designs in the vehicle magnets. If you can if you want, but what I've noticed is that it just gets it as busy, and your eye can't really focus on any one thing. Here's the litmus I'd give you. See if you can read the sign from 50 feet away or 75 feet away. Why? Because your trailer and your truck are going to be parked out front of the business or that subdivision home. If you can't read it 40, 50 feet away, I mean, clearly, visibly, I'm not saying if you got like 20/20 vision, but I'm saying like if you've got some decent vision. Now, again, you want to have your customers see it from the inside of their home. Okay, most of our customers are in the bay window of their home. They're looking out, and let's say that you're cutting Mrs. Johnson's house, but across the street is Ron. And Ron is looking for a lawn service, and he's peeping your rig, he's peeping your work, and he goes, man, they actually do a pretty good job on Mrs. Johnson's house. Can Ron see the phone number and the name on that magnet from 50 to 75 feet away? So Ron's probably, 30 to 60, right? Kind of our ideal customer. Not a lot of younger people have lawn service. First-time homeowners are probably late 20s, if not 30, 35, all the way up to our 60, 70-year-old, customers, the Gen Xers and the boomers, right? So we want to make sure that they can see the sign. If you have a bunch of cool graphics and designs and a lot of busyness, you get a lot of these like free magnet templates from a Vistaprint or some of these websites. They look cool. They look very eye-catching. But I will say with vehicle magnets and in your signage in general, less is more. You're going to see a theme through all of this, that less is more. So it also just kind of goes full circle to you got to have something on your truck or trailer, even if you're the brand new guy, even if you are just getting started and you're using a minivan and a utility trailer, okay? As dorky as it sounds, some of us have been there. I get it. Even if you're just using some vehicle, it does show a level of professionalism. It shows that at least you're trying. It shows that, hey, this is an actual contractor who's trying to get his business started. I don't care if you pull up in the Ford Ranger, keep it clean, keep it washed, put on some magnets, and at least you have the opportunity for the neighbors to call and reach out to you. If you don't have any signage out there, right, we're not going to be able to have the opportunity to pick up new customers. Okay, so really, really simple, really, really cost effective. I started with those for a long time. I kind of got rid of them after I moved to a utility trailer signage. And what I actually did next on the truck, though, is I got, so those were magnets on the doors. Magnets on the doors are fine, but magnets also scrape. There's a lot of sand, a lot of dirt. They get covered in dust and dirt and grass. And when you throw them on your back floorboards, nights and weekends, they still attract a lot of that stuff. And you slap them on the door. Well, you're kind of like getting your paint all like kind of tacked up. It's kind of rough. Now, next up is vinyl, where you can get lettering on the truck or lettering on the windows. That's a very logical evolution for us trying to get lettering. Now, couple options here. One, you can get a little 2 foot by 2 foot logo of your business on your door, both sides of your driver's door, right, and passenger front door. Awesome option. You can get those for $50, $100, $150 installed. You can get the logo made up on a PNG, which is that transparent art file, which means it's just the logo and there's none of that white dead space. So if you ever get print material made up or your logo or marketing materials, ask for the PNG. That's your transparent file. So when you get that transparent, you can go to a local print shop or a Vistaprint and order a 12 foot by 12 foot, a 18-inch 12 foot by 12 foot, a 12 inch by 12 inch, a 1 foot by 1 foot, logo, or maybe a 2 foot by 2 foot logo. and get the sticker. And for me personally, I'd have a professional install it, where they spray it with Windex or they spray it with alcohol and then they put it on. They get the little squeegee tool. If you got a good buddy who's handy, he can do it. And you might be able to get that little vinyl sticker for, I don't know, $50, maybe $100. You take it to a professional little install shop and they can do it for pennies. That would be a cool next option, is to put your business vehicle, have the logo on your business vehicle on the front doors. For me personally, I didn't want to go that route because I didn't want to put anything on the paint, because I knew that F-150, for me personally, it wasn't my final vehicle for my business. So I started with it, but I knew I wasn't going to finish with it, which means I knew one day I was going to sell it. So for me personally, I didn't want to put any vinyl or any stickers or decals on the paint on the body. Now, if it's a truck that's going to be part of your fleet for a long time, dude, go to town. Get it stickered, get it vinyled up, get it vehicle wrapped. That's great. For me personally, I didn't want to have like mowing, trimming, blowing, or what do they say? Like design, install, maintain. I didn't want to get any of these key monikers or titles or services we offer on my truck's paint on the vinyl. Now, if you have an extra Chevy 2500, you have an extra Ford F-250, it's a WT, it's a work truck, and this thing's a fleet vehicle. It's designed to get beat up. It's got the carpet delete, vinyl seats, plastic floor, and it's just designed to haul the rig and the trailer around. Dude, that is awesome. You can get those vehicles all vinyled up, all wrapped, the whole deal. For me personally, on the F-150, I just didn't want to put anything on the body, because if I ever went to sell it, I didn't want it to say, mowing, trimming, blowing, edging, Brian's Law Maintenance. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't put anything on the paint, just something to think about. What I did, though, was I put my vinyl lettering on the back window. So I had a crew cab on that F-150, and those windows only went down halfway. So just a key little tip here is some of those vehicles on the back rear windows can only go down halfway. The newer vehicles, most of them can go all the way down. But just be careful if you go up or down, that if you do that repeatedly, like the guys in the back, if you got a 4-man team, those back guys, just let them know, hey, the window can only go down halfway, or don't take it all the way down so it doesn't scratch off the vinyl, because you don't want to get that replaced every year. It can start to add up. But for me, I had a little logo. It said, I gotta remember what it said. It said like residential, commercial, my phone number, maybe Brian's Law Maintenance. It was white block lettering on a transparent like little sheet. I went to a local print shop as an Allegra Printing where we live, and I think they installed both sides with the print for like $75 total. So $35 per sign, and we were in business with signage on the truck. So that's what I did. I put mine on the window, because when you use some glue, was it Goo Gone or Glue Gone, whatever it is, Goo Gone, that Goo Gone and Windex will buff out all that stuff on the window. So that's the truck and the vehicle. If you want to do a wrap, wraps are awesome. I think wraps are great. I didn't personally want to drop, a good wrap is going to be anywhere from, I'd say, $1,500 to $3,000. It just depends on how much square footage of the truck. A lot of those like Chevy 1500s, they're more popular in a lot of fleets because they have the biggest body, like the biggest panels. That is a fact. I mean, when you look at the Chevy 1500s, a lot of surface area, so you can do a lot with wraps for sure, or listing out services. Now, if you're just getting started out, is a vehicle wrap going to do it for you? Is it something that you want to spend $1,500 to $2,000 on? It's debatable. It's debatable. Now, if you're going to grow a larger company and you want to build branding, you want to have a fleet of vehicles that all match, I think wraps are awesome. You know what I mean? I think for $1,500 to $2,000, they all look the same as like the green and blue with Perfect Cut, or Troy Clogg. All of his are white, dark blue, and the pink. They all look really, really nice. I can be on the highway going 80 miles an hour, going 96 west, and on 96 east, I could be passing on the opposite side of the road on the highway, and I know when it's a Troy Clogg truck. Now, number two, he's also got his plow, which is exciting because it's a big pink plow, which is a marketing and branding thing, but also a thing he does for breast cancer awareness, which is cool. But outside of the plow, I know when it's a Troy Clogg vehicle coming way down the road. But no, all of his chassis are blue. Talking about getting a truck and repainting it, I haven't done a lot of that. I know Bedell, he's bought trucks in the Northeast, had them retooled, reconfigured a little bit, and then painted the cab. It might be $500 to $2,000-3,000. That's up to you. You could save a lot of money by finding the right truck and going to get the cab painted. Just know that a lot of the exteriors, what you're painting, you're probably not going to be doing a perfect job on the inside door sills and all the trim work. That's going to start eating into that cost and raising that cost a lot. What I do that know, if I did get a new truck and I wanted to paint it, I would definitely tell them paint the outside. We don't need anything on the trim. But again, go get the Mako job for $399, just having fun, and see what you can go. I can't speak to that. I haven't done it, but that's vehicle. So having your vehicle with signage in any capacity is going to help get customers. Whether you got magnets, whether you got some vinyl on the windows, whether you have vinyl all over the paint. I personally didn't want to go that route because I knew I wasn't going to keep the vehicle. But if you are going to keep the vehicle and it's going to be part of your fleet forever, I would say go to town and get the vinyl on the paint and or get a vehicle wrap. Now, again, if you get the Chevy 1500 and you're going to use it for 2 to 5 years, you're going to sell it and flip it because it's just you're just going through the vehicles. You might really, really significantly crush that resale value if you get all the lettering, the vinyl on the paint. But a wrap, generally speaking, if you take the whole wrap off, you're not going to have a lot of fade over the body of the vehicle. So that's the vehicle. Let's go talk about the trucks or the trailers, the utility and the enclosed and even dump trailers. I'm going to catch my breath here, take a sip of my Mountain Dew, the official, non-official podcast drink for Fullerton Unfiltered. And then we're going to hear a little bit more from Marty and the show sponsors, and then we'll get right back into it.
All right, speaking of our official or unofficial drink of the show, that's my Mountain Dew with a Red Bull chaser because I need to hype you guys up about something.
This industry's largest peer-to-peer led training event is just around the corner. And if you guys are ready to bump it up a notch and lay the foundation for an incredibly successful 2021, then L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2020 is an absolute must-attend event. L'Entrepreneur Academy Live. The fun takes place November 7th in Novi, Michigan at the Suburban Collection Showplace. This year we have 6 amazing speakers, including Nick Carlson, Caleb and Brittany Allman, Corey Ballard, Jeff Joyner, Keith Kalfas, and Stanley Genetic. This all-day long exclusive conference focuses on safety training, sales training, and features live panels and demos as well. You definitely don't want to miss out. Refocus, regroup, and re-engage with us this fall at L'Entrepreneur Academy Live 2020. We're so excited to host you guys in Novi, Michigan, and help propel your business to the next level. Hotels and event registration information can all be found at l'entrepreneuracademy.com and in today's show notes. And follow along as the excitement builds with the Instagram hashtag LAL2020. See you November 7th.
Ratings and reviews.
Each week, we take a minute to highlight your guys' reviews of the show.
Our first is from Andriolo in Montana. He says that Fullerton Unfiltered is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to every day while I'm working. I'm 25 years old. I wish I could have had this inspiration and book of knowledge years ago. Brian's wife, my favorite guests on the podcast, to Stan and the rest of the YouTube gang, are all very inspiring. It's great that there's a variety of ages and business experiences dealing with lawn maintenance to snow removal and much more. Fullerton Unfiltered is perfect for everyone, no matter what your age and background. I promise anyone that one episode will inspire you and you will 100% learn something new that you can carry with you the rest of your life and pass on to future generations. Wow, that's pretty cool. Love the podcast, Brian. Keep up the great work. Your fan, isn't it nice to have a fan? Your fan from up in Montana, and then he puts autopilot MT. This one comes from Josh312, Josh_312. Great podcast, not just for the green industry, but for everybody in the service industry. Great podcast, every episode full of useful information. Brian tends to make the guest very comfortable, which makes the conversations just flow, and time goes by so fast when listening to the show. The information in the podcast is useful to anyone in the green industry, but also those who are not. Anyone who is running a small service business or wants to run one in the near or even distant future should listen. The business advice can translate to many industries. And of course, from Wales in the UK, this comment from Izzy.
Damn, he's hot.
And of course, she's referring to Brian Fullerton. Sorry, Paul.
Want us to read your review next? Let us know how we're doing, and we might just read your review on next week's show.
All right, well, let's jump right back into it. Again, appreciate the show sponsors for bringing the whole podcast together. And of course, shout out to Marty, who's been producing the show. Gotta love it. All right, let's talk about trailers with utility trailers. We're going to talk about enclosed trailers, and then we're going to talk about dump trailers. And we're going to button this thing up. We're talking about signage. Now, I had my little utility trailer from Tractor Supply. A lot of you guys know this. When I don't think I got any signage on that first trailer, but when I got my 6.5 by 12 utility trailer, SureTrack trailer from Kelly & Sons, which is my local trailer dealer over in Carlton, Michigan, I went and got a signage on the back ramp. Okay, almost all of us get started with a utility trailer. I mean, very few people start with an enclosed trailer. But even if you didn't start with an enclosed trailer, let's just talk about the utility trailer, folks, for right now. Everybody has a ramp on the back, duh. And whether it's a 5x8 or a 6 foot by whatever, 5 foot by 6 foot ramp, so on and so forth, everybody's got a rear ramp. And that is way underutilized marketing and advertising space for our businesses. The product, or at least the material that we use. Now, I've seen a little bit of everything. I've seen people literally get vinyl signage and then they just rope it onto the trailer. I wouldn't really advise that. The material that we use. Now, contact a local print shop, contact something online. It might be cost prohibitive to do this kind of marketing material online. So maybe check with a local print shop. Whether it's a steel sign or it is a material called Diebond, Diebond. That was it's like a hard, thick plastic. There's different thicknesses of it. We can get those made up, a utility sign, or I'm sorry, a marketing sign made up on the back. Back in the day, mine were probably, I don't know if it was 3 foot by 4 foot or 4 foot by 5 foot. I remember taking the 5 vertical posts on my utility trailer ramp, measuring what the inside 3 posts were in width. I think it was like 4 feet or 48 inches, obviously. And I said, hey, I'm going to bolt it to these posts. Let's get a 3 foot by 4 foot wide sign made up. Now, back in the day, mine again, it said Brian's Law Maintenance. It was all my services and my phone number. I don't think it was more than like red and white color schemes. It was extremely simple. Again, whether you have green and white, blue and white, red or white, orange and white, orange and black, just try to keep the busyness to a minimum, right? Again, when somebody's driving behind you, especially if you're around town, you got to imagine now people can see you from the side when you're parked on the side of the road doing the neighbor. But if you have your trailer ramp down, you have this huge, or if you have your trailer ramp up, you have this huge signage that's going down the road. Whether you're parked at a job site, flip up the trailer ramp while you're cutting the neighbor's lawn for 40 minutes. Why not? When you're zipping around town, you have that sign, boom, right in the back of somebody's face. Now, imagine this. If you're driving around town for days, weeks, months, and years, how many times do you think somebody is behind you? I mean, realistically, like 500 times, 5,000 times, 50,000 cars might be behind you over the case of a couple years. That's marketing and impressions. So I had that little utility trailer just all the time. It was in people's face at stoplights, gas stations, this and that. People would be at the gas pump. They're filling up their little Honda Civic and they would peek over the pump and they'd say, Brian's Law Maintenance, huh? Yeah, that's our business. Yeah, that we run it. They go, where do you guys work out of? Or, do you guys do work around here? I'd be like, yeah, I give out a business card. They call us and, more than likely, we would get a call, we'd get a lead and maybe earn a customer, right? That stuff did happen all the time way back in the day when I had my utility trailer. But to get this Diebond sign, like 3x4 with marketing and print setup and all this other mess and a little bit of design work, I don't know, guys, $200-$300, maybe $400. It was really, really cheap. If you get the Diebond, I don't know if there's different thicknesses of it, but get a little bit thicker grade if you can. Or number 2, get the Easy Gate or the Gorilla Gate. I think Ballard's got a cool Easy Gate ramp that allows the gate to fall down slower so it doesn't just smash down. Within, I don't know, a year or two, my sign was breaking on the 4 corners where I had 4 of those bolts. So I just took a metal drill bit. We drilled 4 holes. First time it was lug nuts or, bolts. And then the second time we started using carriage bolts. The carriage bolts were on the inside of the ramp, so the mower tires didn't get poked or popped, right? A little life lesson there. So use some bolts that have a rounded top or a rounded finish. Don't put the nuts on the inside, the bolts on the inside. Keep those on the back side of the trailer. Use washers, use quarter or half inch or 1 inch washers. That way you get a little bit more surface material that those bolts are catching on to the actual die bond material. Start with the bolts on the inside and then work your way to the outside. That way, if you do bolt the 4 corners, you don't put all that pressure or tension towards the inside as you try to mount the sign to the middle post or the 2 middle posts. A little pro tip here, been there, done that. So start with the inside, bolt those 4 corner or 4 middle parts, then go drill your holes for the outside. Definitely a 2-person job, so somebody can hold up the sign while you make your little tacks and little crosses with your pencil on your sign. And then again, secure them with washers on both sides on the sign, and then also on the 2-inch tube top or the angle iron for the ramp. Okay. Now, again, that stuff is completely inexpensive. I don't care if you're just getting started and you're 10, 12, 15, 18 years old, and you got like a little 3 foot by 3 foot wide, 5 feet deep trailer. Got some little firewood camping, tow the family's lawn care tractor trailer around. Like those little trailers, all the way to a 5x8 utility trailer from Tractor Supply to a 7x14 like full-blown utility trailer where you got 2-3 units on it. For $200-$300, you can have trailer signage and you're ready to rock and roll. That is completely underutilized. I can't tell you how many utility trailers I follow and see around town that have no signage on the back. For $200-$300, some of the literally cheapest cost per impression that you can get for marketing and print materials. Now, don't think that that's exclusive just to utility trailers on the back. You can also have utility trailer signage on the side, which is really exciting. So let's say you got a 2-foot tube top and you got some side panels, whether they're wood covered or they're just open air. Take the right dimensions and get something made up that's 18 inches by 36 inches, right? Something that can bridge the gap of that space that you can mount on the walls of the trailer all the way down. Maybe it's like 3 or 4 feet long, and you can have the name of your business. Now, again, a lot of our customer impressions are going to come from the side of that rig. Neighbors that are looking out the window or people driving by your rig as you're mowing a neighbor's house. Again, you can get these signs made up for, I don't know, 50 to 75, maybe 150, $200. It's pennies on the dollar. You get one customer almost buying any service, let alone weekly service for your lawn maintenance, and it's going to pay for itself in the first customer, the first service you do for that customer. You know what I'm saying? So any of these signs, or you see empty space on the side of your trailer, go get these die bond material signs. Put them on the side of your utility trailer. That's a huge step. Maybe list a couple service, like weekly maintenance, landscaping, snow plowing, or weekly maintenance, landscaping, and aerations or leaf cleanups. Keep it simple. Keep it, don't get the busy designs where it shows some superimposed landscape bed. That stuff's too busy. You can't read it curbside from the house if you're Ron and you got 55-year-old eyes. You know what I'm saying? All right, so that also, let's go right to dump trailers. Dump trailers are the same thing. Now, dump trailers are a little bit more difficult on the back because you don't have a ramp, but you have those 2 barn doors. Consider adding vinyl to those. Okay, you can do magnets, but I would consider getting those vinyled up. Again, whether it's just your logo and your phone number, or your logo and your phone number on the left and your services are on the right barn door, always an option. You can get vinyl, guys, for $50, $100. I'd say anything north of that, you probably want to shop around a little bit. But again, how many cars are behind the dump trailer, right? Or the dump trailer. Also, on the side of your dump trailer, right? A lot of space for all that metal that is the actual dump box of the dump trailer. You can get all of that vinyled up, all of that lettered up. That's where you can do, snow plowing, lawn maintenance, aerations, cleanups, call for estimate, phone number, now accepting new clients, all those kind of marketing vinyl messages you can put on the side of the dump trailer. Also, think about this. If you got the dump trailer with those walls, and let's say you got one running board of walls on both sides, my friend Brandon with Envision, he got let's say that's a 12 by 20. Okay, he got a 10 or 11 inch by like 9 or 10, 12 foot long piece of die bond. Okay. And it says Envision Landscape Solutions and his phone number. I don't know if he's got services listed. Go check him out on Instagram or something like that. But he's got Envision Landscape Solutions and his phone number, all elongated, right? And he was able to tack that to the board of the dump trailer up top. Now, why would you not take the opportunity to put signage on that for $100? Maybe it's $200. even if it was $500, one call, one large leaf cleanup, maybe one new customer for weekly mowing for a year, so on and so forth, it's going to instantly pay for itself. So again, curbside, imagine you got the Chevy 1500, you got all the vinyl or the magnets or the vehicle wrap on the enclosed trailer, or I'm sorry, on the dump trailer, you got all this signage on the side from all the services you offer. You got it on the wood extra height board that gives you more space for hauling and dumping more material. Everywhere it's all peppered and everywhere it's all lettered up. That looks like a rig that looks professional. It screams next level. It screams we're all in. When you show up to that rig or with that rig to a customer's house and they go, well, what kind of work do you guys do? Or are you guys credible? Like, that's the questions the customer is always thinking, right? Like, do these people have their stuff together? Well, if you pull up with a rig that has lettering on it, you have a pretty committed contractor, in my opinion. The people that look a little bit more sketch, a little bit more truck in the truck, are the guys that at best have magnets, but just pull up in some like random red F-150, and they're like, yeah, we do lawn and landscape, and then they go, quote a $12,000 landscape job up front, and the customer's like, yeah, I just, I don't really see it, I don't know if you're my guy, and some of you guys are like, well, why can't I get anybody to give me a deposit? Well, because you almost look like the bandit, you know what I mean? Like, you look like the guy who's going to stiff somebody. Now, if you pull up with an F-450 dump truck, and it doesn't have to be a brand new $70,000 dump truck, but you pull up with some nice dump truck, it's clean, it's washed, and it's got some vinyl on the dump bed, the Monroe dump insert or the buyer's dump insert, and something on the door or the windows, you look credible. You look like an actual contractor. This stuff is really, really cheap. I mean, extremely, extremely cheap. My dump insert, I put all my info on the back dump insert. Now, why don't I have it all over the side of my truck? For me personally, again, I don't know if and when we're going to sell the truck, trade it in, upgrade. I'm really looking at that V10 V8, it's V10 V8, the V10 engine, the gasser, or maybe upgrading to a diesel the next year or two. Depends if I get a camper, an RV, if and when we have kids and we do the family thing and blah, blah, blah. So again, I don't want to get mine all stickered up, lettered up, but I did take the opportunity of that space on the back of my dump insert to add my logo and my name and phone number, right? So I'm trying to, tell you guys I do the same stuff I'm telling you to do. Let's go to the enclosed trailer. Enclosed trailer for signage, same thing. It can actually turn into a runaway freight train of expense. To get your your enclosed trailer signage vinyl. So vinyl is lettering, a wrap is different. A wrap is going to be anywhere from $2,500 to $4,000. Okay, it just depends on square footage and how big that you're doing of a trailer. Like mine's 8.5 by 16, and to get what you see on my trailer was $2,000. Okay, I'm pretty transparent. So we have a huge name, the phone number. I don't know if I have any services listed. I don't think I did that because I know my services were going to change over time. But mine says like licensed, insured, and I think family owned, and I don't even know if mine says where my city is or anything like that. I try to keep my rig as generic as possible. So name and phone number on the sides, name and phone number on the back, the logo, the strip on one side, the strip on the other side, $2,000. Now, I will tell you guys that my place did a cash offer. I said, hey, that's cool. I said, do you guys do a cash opportunity? And they said, yeah, we'll do it for $1,600. I said, I got cash. So save $400. Just keep that off the record. But you know what? Save some money for me and make some money for them, whatever. So always offer that as an option out there. That's called Fullerton Unfiltered. That was about $2,000 to see what you see on my 8.5 by 16. Now, if you have a 7 by 14, it should be just as much or less, obviously. If you have an 8.5 by 20, 22, 24, 30 foot trailer, whatever you guys are hauling around, start doing the math. You're going to spend, $4, $5, $6, $7 grand on some of these nicer trailers. Now, what you see a lot of the larger trailers, and this is an option just to throw it out there, is look at the Bright Views, look at the Brickmans, and look at the Brylars. Okay, a lot of those guys, they do one simple 2 foot by 2 foot logo on the middle of the enclosed trailer walls and the back of the enclosed trailer. Those guys are in business to make money. And I'm not putting anybody down that's got a $4,000 or $5,000 wrap on your trailer, but that's a lot of money. And I'm not saying to do it. I'm not saying to not do it. What I've personally noticed is that less is more. And the more you want to look like the big dog contractor in town, most of the big dog contractors that I see have very simple, minimal logos. Now, they have very simple minimum wraps or vinyl. Not a wrap, but vinyl. So you look at Brylar, it's the little B with the Rylar, in the green, whatever it is. It's really simple, blues and greens, I think. Troy Clogg, he's got his vehicles painted. That's a couple bucks. But if you look at his logo, it's the pink trees, and it just says Troy Clogg and Associates. If you look at Brightview, it's the little like peaks, on the W or whatever for Brightview. Super simple, just a dark blue. Really easy to work with. Now, Brickman, they get a lot of their trucks like the tan and the dark brown. They get the custom paint right off the assembly line from Ford or whatever. But if you ever see any of like their trailers, yes, sometimes they got the color scheme to match, but a lot of times they just have like the dark brown where it says Brickman, right? I don't know if it's a leaf or a brick or whatever it is. It's extremely simple. So some of you guys that are like, well, I got an 8.5 by 22 foot trailer. Like, man, I just got a quote back for $4,500. Maybe don't do that. Maybe just save the money, go put it into your payroll, go put it into labor, go pay it into buying other equipment that's going to bring in more money with a better ROI, and just put the logo on the middle, or just something simple on that whole panel, the whole body. Okay. Now, if you want to do, your logo for, $400, awesome. Or $200, that's awesome. If you want to get vinyl signage for $2,000, awesome. For me personally, I don't know if I would spend $4, $5, $6,000 getting a full trailer wrap. I think that's a lot of money. I don't know if the return is there. You know what I mean? For me personally. But I will tell you, like my $1,600 vinyl signage on my trailer, man, I get calls all day long. It's a sale. It's a rolling billboard going down the road. You cannot literally miss that thing if you live where I live. Plus, if I'm in the subdivisions doing all of our work. So that's just some stuff to keep in mind. There's no right or wrong answer. If you want to get vinyl wrap all on or vinyl signage on the enclosed trailer, go for it. If you want to do a wrap, consider it, heavily. Like, is this something we want to do or we need to do? What I would say is, if you're going to buy an enclosed trailer, get the color of it. It might be a $500 option, right? To get the color you want. Let's say like your trailer dealer and your trailer manufacturer heavily does white, blacks, and dark blues, or whites, blacks, and grays. I think actually my red might have been a $500 premium color package. Well, all I have to do is make my little Brian's Law Maintenance logo in the middle of that trailer on the two sides in the back. And honestly, that's all the logo I would really need. Just like Brylar, they get white trailers and the little Brylar in the middle. Very, very simple. So don't feel obligated to wrap the trailer. Don't feel obligated to wrap even a box truck. If you want to wrap a box truck, that's awesome, man. If it's going to cost you $6,000, I don't know. Are you going to be doing this for 2, 3, 5 years, 10 years? How long is that vehicle going to be part of your fleet? I mean, most of us keep vehicles for 5 or 10 years at most. Are those lines going to cross with a $5,000 vehicle wrap? They might, and they might not. So I'm just really hesitant with that. Just so you guys know, again, we want to make money. Okay. Nobody gets paid to have the coolest looking rig. People sometimes try to throw me under the bus. Like, look at his rig. I go, dude, everything I have moves and makes money. Like everything has a return on it or a return associated with it. We don't just spend money to spend money, or, even if we have a second business with YouTube and our media company, or even if I was making millions of dollars doing a bunch of other things, it doesn't mean you get lazy with trying to look at your numbers on your first business, right? It just means like, look at everything intentionally. Is there an actual ROI with it? So just looking at my notes here, branding, colors, keep it simple. And that's what I got. So love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you enjoyed this episode, shoot me a, swipe up or something like that on Instagram, tag us, on Instagram, share the podcast if you guys enjoyed it. This is what I wanted to talk about, man. It's vehicle wraps, vehicle signage. I think there's a lot of great options out there. We might have some people coming down the works later down the road to maybe even help with this kind of stuff. But in the meantime, this was a topic that was on my mind. I get it asked a bunch on Instagram, and somebody was just laughing as they drove down the road yesterday. They saw my rig and they said, man, that's a sweet looking setup. I said, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Very, very intentional by design. So, all right, guys. Well, that's it for today. This episode of Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Thank you so much for all the support, all the reviews. Check out that whole ball of wax bundle. Guys, we'll kick it over to Mr. Producer Marty, and we'll catch up with you guys on the next one.
Absolutely, positively another stellar show here on Fullerton Unfiltered, or Fuller Unfiltered as it's known in some areas of the globe. circling back around, I can think of nothing more important than to circle back around to the whole ball of wax that Brian mentioned early in the show. That bundle is currently $499. It's going to be going up in price very soon because of the addition of 6 or 7 new resources that are guaranteed to be a game changer for anybody that's thinking about growing a successful lawn or landscaping business. You have the opportunity not only to purchase the previous modules and sessions, but all of the subsequent ones for life. Not just the update that's coming here real soon, but just to be grandfathered in to all of the future upgrades, anything new that's added to LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com. Don't miss this opportunity. It may never come around again. LawEntrepreneurAcademy.com. Go to the store, click on the store link up there at the top, and get the whole ball of wax.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.